questions? None? All those in favor, signify by aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alright. Discussion and possible motion, recycling fairgrounds and trails and report. Darlene?
Okey doke, just wanna start off, by saying there's only so much of me to go around. Unfortunately, recycling gets the least amount of my time on an as-needed basis. The workload in several of my jobs has, increased greatly, but I did attend a household hazardous waste meeting of the whole consortium that does clean sweeps. And we have a date for the 2024 clean sweep. It's gonna be Tuesday, June 25th from 2 to 6. I tried my hardest to get it on a Friday or Saturday, so we're not, interrupting highway. But we are at the mercy of Veolia, our hazardous waste hauler, so they didn't want another night in a hotel, and they didn't wanna work in the evening, or on a weekend, so that's the date. So that's all I have for recycling, but if we could go to James, cause he has to deliver meals after this, the swinging bridge.
So I have been in contact with Mitchell, the insurance agent. So I emailed them, what day was that, I don't remember now, well back, a little bit here now. Just trying to touch base with them, seeing what, cause you guys pretty much said the bridge was probably a loss at this point. So I reached out to him, kind of mentioned that, he responded back, he wanted some more pictures and such, I did send them to him. There was another limb that came down on top of the bridge, it broke another 2x6 for one of the railings. He did see that in the pictures, and he did mention that that would not be covered under this claim, which is, I understand. But then going into his email he just sent last night back to me after showing him the pictures, so I kinda laid it out what was broken for sure. I mentioned that the posts were leaning, so the whole end is actually leaning up against the wires that hold the suspension part. So as you walk up that end, it'd be leaning towards the left. So it's right up against the wires on that side, the other side there's, a lot of space, so it's not evenly spaced in between anymore. He did tell me it was because the tree was still sitting on it. I got told to leave the tree alone, so that's what I did. I will go through and remove the tree now, and maybe it'll correct itself. I have a hard time believing it will, but we'll see what happens there. So I kinda laid out what we needed as far as materials for sure. He did mention, cause I did say about the 6x6 post, he did mention in his response, that them were probably broken because of rot. So that's a current picture that was just taken Wednesday evening. I went across and got that. That's that new limb that came down on top of it there, and you can see how it's all being pushed over. That's be the northwest end of that bridge, so it'll be the far end. So then if you go a couple more pictures there, Charmaine. A couple more, I think. One more. So here you can actually see it's up against, if you go one more, I think. And then you see how it's spaced here. And if you go, I think the next one, so it's right up against that wire. So that's the whole end is now being shoved over against that guide wire that actually holds the main part of the suspension. Then the next picture shows how it's spaced away on the far side, or on the right side as you go over. So I can remove that tree by any means, but I don't know if it's gonna correct that lean. So I have contacted a couple companies about quotes. I had one that gave me, I had two of them kind of give me a budgetary purpose quote. The first one was Anderson out of Colfax. They just said a 100 foot by 5 foot. They have not stepped foot on site. They just said kind of for budgetary purposes, here where we are, they're talking a steel truss bridge about 70,000, then approaches and such, you get in there. So they're looking at about 95,000. But that, once again, they have not been on site, they have not seen the site, the outside of my picture. So this is just for budgetary purposes. Again, it gives us a rough estimate. And then to remove the old bridge, it's not in there. So that's part of it too. So getting that going would take a few bucks. And then if we go to custom manufacturing, they actually gave me a price per foot roughly. He figured about 110. He did talk about in the top part how they do not work on bridges that they do not put in. Suspension style bridges is something outside of their scope. Neither one of these companies will do one. So they're talking, what is it, 900 roughly per foot. The difference is if we go from a 5-foot bridge to a 6-foot bridge, they actually cut off a 6-foot beam. They do it in 6-foot, 10-foot, and 12-foot spans as far as widths. So if we do a 5-foot span, they're actually going to be cutting off a 6-foot. So you might as well spend an extra $25 and get the 6-foot. So about $1,000, I'll say about $1,000 per foot on that. He's figured about 110. That'd be an arch style. The first bridge will have to be replaced in order to get that bridge in there. He did actually give me a kind of a price on that. I don't know if it's this deal or not. I think it was the previous one. It was like $1,200 per foot for that first bridge, and it's 35 feet, 36 feet. Because he has a 7-foot telehandler, 7 foot wide, that he'd have to get back there in order to get this 100-foot bridge across. So in order to get that second bridge in, he has to do the first bridge. So there are two options. Evie's out of Lenflora did show up, and he did take a look at it. He has not given me any quotes or anything yet. I'm hoping that we'll get those soon. Custom Manufacturing does have us on the list to come do a site visit, so they can get a better number, a more solid number. This was just before Christmas when they gave me this, or just after Christmas, and they're a shop of 9 people, and 3 of them were out sick. So they said that we're on the list anyway, so that way when they come up this way, they'll get a hold of me and they'll come out and take a key. So we have a couple options as far as this stuff goes. We do have, I'm going to say, almost a 4th option. I don't know if it would be something that you guys would even entertain, but I know back in the 90s they did a revamp of the bridge as it stood. Jim Moore and a couple people did it back in the 90s. Would it ever be considered to maybe do another revamp of that bridge from a county standpoint? Myself and maybe a couple county other, maintenance men out there doing a revamp of that bridge, or maybe even rebuilding that far end and making it more structurally sound. I don't know if that would be something you guys would entertain or not. I'm gonna say that'd probably be our cheapest option. But it would take some manpower to do it, because a lot of it would be done by hand. You're not gonna get much for machines back there easily anyway. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Has anybody contacted Wildlife Restoration, which usually does a lot of those?
Are you talking like the,
Well, like Jerry Carroll and that group, he always works, because they do a lot of, work on the river banks.
Yep, so a lot of that for him, he has it booked out probably 3, 4, 5 years in advance. We'd be looking out 5 years before he'd even consider looking at it probably. Because I know they have that pretty much sanctioned out.
I suggested because I know they do quite a bit of work.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah, with the equipment and
It wouldn't hurt to ask them.
wouldn't hurt, I mean, maybe they jump ahead, something like that ahead of some of his schedule.
The only, I'm not gonna say issue, but the only concern I would have is you're dealing with high school students building a bridge that people are to cross.
Well, I understand that, I guess with these kind of projects, they have some kind of insurance coverage.
I got college students supervising, they got older supervisors.
Right. They're all supervised.
But I would think we need to deal with the insurance company first before we do
Yeah.
that,
Well, I
so.
mean, yeah, I understand that, I mean, that's not, but it still might be
It might be an option, yeah.
even if you had to pay extra for insurance for that, I think it should still be a lot cheaper option. If he's interested, we could do it.
Yep, they've done a lot of work out at camp.
Yeah.
The shower house and then the stairs going up to the nature trail, so, yes.
Amphitheater.
Yep, amphitheater, yeah, so we have no problem hitting them up again.
Well, it's something to consider, I think. In the meantime, we're not gonna make any decision today, because you don't have all the info yet.
We thought that, had the bids for snowmobile bridges and
That's
stuff.
EVs, yep.
That's EV.
Is there another one there?
Oh,
CWI,
CWI.
CWI had came and taken a look at it
Okay.
a while back, but he's never gotten me any kind of quote in.
Anybody got any more questions? I guess we can't do anything, we're not gonna do anything, I think, until we have more.
Well, I think continue down the path of getting quotes so that the insurance company sees what they're up against, right?
Yeah, and it kind of, like that last email from the insurance kind of sounds like they're skeptical of how much of this is actually related to the
Tree.
tree versus wear and
Age.
tear.
Yeah. Because, I just know, looking at his email, he mentioned that, $10,000 deductible, that, I don't know, there might be $2,000 worth of material, that actually was taken out because of the tree. And then you got a little bit of, your time and labor into it. I don't know if we've hit that $10,000 just replacing that end of that ramp. Cause trying to get, convince him or trying to get him to understand that that ramp is leaning because of that tree is the hard part right now.
So what are your suggestions? Should we continue with repairing it or go to replacing it?
I'm having a hard time, anyone trying to give me a repair cost of it. Because no engineer, as custom manufacturing said, no engineer would give you a stamp of approval on that bridge on repairs because you're uncertain of what's underneath of it. That's the way he worded it. I understand the county assumes liability all the time on things and whatnot, and, I don't know exactly how that all works, I'm fairly new at this yet, but, I'm just trying to get do it right,
Well, you still got some people supposed to come out and actually be on site visit.
Well, custom manufacturing, I'm on their list. It may be a month or two before they get out there on site to give a more solid cost of it for replacement, not repair though.
That's for
A steel
the
bridge.
bridges, yeah, for original structure.
And then that's the problem with that too, because the insurance company, he said in kind. So we'd have to come up with a cost of in-kind bridge, so we'd have to come up with a cost of another swinging bridge. And that's what they would technically pay out for, if I understand that correctly. So if we did it, I'm gonna say, in-house, not saying we were going to, but if we were to come up with a cost in-house and how many hours roughly it would take and everything, he may go with it, he may not go with it. Cause he's looking for a contractor, and I can't think of a single contractor that's,
Well, and they're not even in agreement that it's
yeah, exactly,
totaled,
Yeah.
for insurance purposes.
yeah.
So kind of spinning.
Since Gary's crew was brought up, he had his hand up.
What's that?
Since Gary's crew was brought up, he had his hand up for a comment.
I'll throw it out here again, I threw it out there before, but, like James said, yeah, get quotes, get all the quotes, but, I guarantee you that myself, James, and a couple other maintenance guys could, actually take that bridge down, put a whole new swinging bridge back up, probably exactly like it is, but it'll be good for 30 years, but we could do it, but you guys would have, obviously the insurance would have to cover it. the county would have to take care of permitting and inspection on the bridge. But, I mean, that's something I've done for 20 years, I mean, it's not out of my realm, so.
So if that's favorable in your eyes, would you be okay if we brought an engineer out there with maybe Gary and James, just to see if we could get an engineer to sign off on something like that before we waste our time doing it? Would you be okay with that?
Is there a cost just to bring one out to ask if he'd be willing to sign off on a future project?
We paid $650 for an engineer to do an inspection. I don't know if he'd be willing to do that. I doubt it'd be more than that, though.
I mean, it probably sounds like it's gonna be our cheapest option, and probably, I don't know, honestly, probably end up with a bridge that people like the most, if it's more similar to what you got than what the.
Yeah, because that bridge has been there for 50 years, and I've talked to several people that I mentioned about the swinging bridge, and they're like, it's still there. I remember being on that thing in the 80s. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's still there. It's not quite what it was in the 80s, but it's still there. That has been a staple down at camp since the 70s when it was put in.
When you look on the website, I mean, that's one of the.
That's the first
big
picture that
pictures,
comes
you know.
up, yeah. So,
I know the kids love.
Yeah.
us, or-
in June of this year, we have a 50th wedding anniversary, and that person helped build that swinging bridge in
Original.
1970, the original.
Busy next summer?
So I asked, I'm like, do you have any pictures, do you have any plans, you know, so they're looking, but, you know, that just shows the love of Phil's, and, you know, they wanna come back and celebrate their wedding anniversary there, so, super cool. But yeah, we just wanted to throw out all options and see if you're okay with any of them.
Well, the permitting, once we get going, I'm sure we can talk Mike into doing it, Zimmer. I mean, he does it for the forestry all the time. Oh, did he? Okay.
Yep, and so there's a cost to that, what, 900 each permit?
Yep, so if we did both bridges, now if we're just talking that we're gonna do it in-house, we probably wouldn't have to touch the first bridge. So it'd only be 900 instead of 1,800 for permitting.
Yep.
If we don't touch the first bridge at all, we don't have to do any permitting on that first bridge.
But when you apply for it, you have to put in your time frame
Yeah, so you,
of fixing.
yeah,
or
so you
doing-
would know that you'd start, let's say, May 1st, and you hope to have it done by September 1st. You know, so, yeah, exactly, but I'm just saying that would be, you know, we probably couldn't start on it till May 1st, cause you have to let the water go back down, you know, after the spring thaw.
I'll be honest, if you gave us approval to do it, or us to do it, during the winter, we'd rip it right out of there.
Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, that one limb that came down, I was looking at it, there's probably another 8 trees that could potentially fall on that at any point in time. That should be dealt with, before a new one even goes up.
Goes down when we, well, so if you look at it with an engineer to see if they even sign off on it, put together a cost of what it costs to do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
I would say you're gonna have, depending on the bids you get up, but I'd say you're gonna have a 40 to 50% savings probably.
Probably.
Like we did.
Anybody have any suggestions how to proceed?
I mean, I would suggest to have them at least take a look at it in-house, get an engineer out there to see if they'd sign off on it or not.
Yeah, have an engineer out there? Is that what you suggested?
Yeah, yep, have an engineer look to see if they'd even sign off on it, cause if not, then obviously we're limited on options, but
If we get, let's say, Larry Gotham come out there with us and talk to us about it, and we tell him kind of what we wanna do afterwards, would he sign off on it, you know, that type of thing, and give us maybe some suggestions or requirements that we would have to do in order for him to sign off on it.
Structurally
Yeah,
sound,
to be structurally sound, that would at least give us an idea, and we could put together a cost of materials and, you know, a rough estimate maybe of time, I don't know.
I'll second your motion.
that works.
Semantics.
We might as well move it on.
Slide along.
Are you guys gonna give a,
1,500, if you think it would be under 1,500.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, it
that's
would
true.
be, yes.
Yeah, we don't even need it.
Just come out of our normal budget. Is that just maintenance budget or what?
Yeah, at this point.
That, the budget could handle. Oh, replacement, no, but for now, yes.
You don't got nothing there for the whole thing?
No.
Tom?
I'm just curious, but would it maybe be better to, get somebody out to clear all those trees out before you send an engineer, so they can, you know, see exactly, once the trees are gone, they can see exactly what the damage is, or what needs to be done to correct it, without those tree obstacles in the way?
Well, are you waiting to clear some of the trees for the insurance?
So I left, so I started chopping up the first tree originally, and then I sent pictures off, and I got an email back within 5 seconds that says, quit removing the tree that's on it, so I quit. And then now he's telling me that that tree should have been removed, well, I never got, for an insurance standpoint, the one that's laying on the bridge yet, I never got told to remove. Because I got told to stop removing it, so I did. So now he's telling me to get it off in there, so I will get that one off. The ones that are standing, I say we just leave them for right now, because the thing is, they're leaning so bad, if you try to, a company to get back there to do it is, you're gonna spend some money. If we're gonna take down that anyway, we could drop them and it wouldn't be a problem, we could drop them. And then it wouldn't cost any more than just a little bit of time.
So you have the approval now to clear the.
Yeah, now I can clear the tree that's on the bridge. That's,
There's more than one, actually.
no, well, now there's a second there's a big limb that came down.
Yeah.
So now this is the second time it got hit. But yeah,
The engineer, the engineer will reach out to,
Yeah.
has already been.
he's already been out there, he's familiar with the site. Cause he was out there a year and a half ago
October
now.
of 2022.
Yeah. Cause he looked at it back then.
That was just the one tree that's on there.
No, there was no tree
Oh,
at
no
that
trees
point.
at that
He just came out to take a peek at it to see, cause at that time he mentioned that something would have to be done with it eventually, you know? Cause you're looking at, like I said, it was, you know, almost 50 years old at that point in time. You know, it's well served its time, you know?
Well, we have a motion on the floor to, seconded to have an engineer out there and give us, his opinion on, whether he would sign off or not, on repairing it, whatever it is. I guess, based on that, if, you know, if we go ahead and approve the engineer, then we'll have to take it up from there. Whether he approves it, or we stamp approval on it, whatever. That's the first step, and I don't think we're gonna do anything moving above that till we get that, get an engineer out there. Anybody else have something to add to it?
I would push a little more on the insurance company if they just try to play games with, it wasn't structurally, it was an age thing, cause if a tree lands on something, it's doing some damage structurally and, I mean, anything, just the impact, it's gonna do some structural damage, so I would, maybe challenge them if they go down that route a little bit.
See what you get back from Morgan Parley, because once you hit those cables, the engineer will tell you how much that affected down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to vote on it? All those in favor?
I,
They opposed? Motion carries. I guess that's the first thing. You gonna contact an engineer or what?
Yeah, I'll contact one, and we'll set up a time with Gary and I to meet him out there.
Okay. Sounds good. Moving on, we got camping electrical upgrades.
Yep, we just got a third bid, so the first two that you've already seen, Red Cedar Electric, $4,317. B&B Electric was 5,485, but then also recommended, additional upgrade of 4,494. And then the third one is Van Aert Electric Company out of Eau Claire, 5,500. This is for upgrading the camping spots, the electrical at Trails End.
Where's Red Steed on? Stack. Jack?
He did, the electric on the pavilion and various other county projects.
He's pretty familiar with the whole setup.
Yeah, he was just out there to do the pavilion.
So, we got money in the budget for that this year?
It's a new year, yes.
Any other anticipated major expenses?
Outside of the bridge, no.
No.
Is that outside of the bridge?
No, there should be no appliances, everything is newly upgraded to commercial, so.
How many sites? Why is that? I just want to.
Five. Five.
Thank you.
So there'll be two 50 amp, two 30 amp, and, oh, the other one's gonna be a 30 amp too. So it'll be three 30 amps and two 50, 30, 20 amp. So the ones, two of them are gonna be at three different amperages. Then they'll have the fancy camper boxes, I guess I'll say.
Anybody care to make a motion on proceeding with that or not? How much is the budget for the,
Total repairs is 15,000 in 2024.
15,000, Red Deer was gonna cost
4,317. But keep in mind now, since we changed rates, we're gonna bring in more revenue because every spot there for electric, we're gonna charge $30 per night.
Used or not used?
Only used.
Because we're gonna put a lock on them, so that way I have to physically unlock that box, so we'll know if they use it or not.
Okay. Enough from the builder to proceed to approve Red Deer? Is there a second?
Up to 4,500. 43,700. I'll second.
Any question over there? Tom?
Just, I'm curious question, what, you said you put a lock on the box, right? So, the electricity is metered through a single meter, or is each site?
No, not each site.
Not each site. So
There's 2 meters down at camp in total. So each meter is red, so they actually pay for the electric, but we're gonna charge them $30 per site they hook up to, on top of the electric usage.
Currently, there's not even enough electric to barely run your RV.
Yeah,
It's really old,
you can't,
so
you
we
can't
needed
turn,
an upgrade.
you can't turn on the AC unit or anything on even a pop-up camper, because it'll blow the breaker.
I was just curious, the one bid that had an additional $4,000, something on it, what did that encompass?
So he was upgrading the box from 200 to a 300 amp box. And we did talk to the electric company, Jump River. There's never been a big enough load down on camp to merit that.
Yeah, even though our campground license would be up to 25 campers, we're all sand out there, we're only allowing 5 RVs.
Yeah.
So, it's not gonna reach that.
Cause you could have 20 tents, you know, but
Well, you already made a motion to accept Red Cedar, is there a second? Bill seconded it, okay. Any more discussion on that? Not all those in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. get to the fairground.
Thanks, James.
Drive safe. Never mind.
Fairgrounds?
Not much to say, other than scheduling is starting to get a little crazy out there. In one weekend, we have a cross-country meet, we have a wedding, and we have a demo derby, and trying to mesh all those together is getting a little interesting. But yeah, otherwise, haven't had much snow. We had a wonderful first winter's farmer's market out there, so yeah. But ground stuff, we're still not having an ice rink this year, just weather not cooperating.
Okay. Item D was escape plan for restrooms.
Well, you guys asked me, last month for the final ones, and Trevor sent me an email here, I'll just read you the email here. I will shoot to get you final drawings in the next couple of weeks. Talking with contractors late July will be best time to bid for upcoming work. But he did send me these, I assume they're 95% done on that, but, you guys can actually have this whole get up here. Imagine with the warm weather, everybody's been, all the contractors been working right up until pretty much last week.
This is for 8 units.
I think he did it for 8 units, but we could always back it off to 6 if you wanted to. Basically, because I think the 2 right sides are the 2 ADA units, and then you could always, if you wanted to just eliminate the 2 on the left.
So this is to replace what's out there now?
Correct.
And what was the cost estimate, Amy?
But it won't be no cost to put it up a bid.
What is there, any kind of an idea what the cost might be for something like that?
You guys had one from Andy from years ago for $300,000.
But that wasn't stick built, that was prefab concrete.
This is
Did you ever get a bid from Kane for the bathrooms?
This has gotta get done too.
Oh.
And this costs $8,000. They haven't charged us $8,000 yet. They probably only charged us roughly around half of that, probably, so.
Well, what were you considering these, standalone units? Also?
Yes, but finance said they wanted to move along a bit.
I think they just wanted to wait to make a decision until after these came back.
We're talking about offcuts then, for individual ones, or?
You know, I found some temporary ones, and then portable ones that would be a lot cheaper. A lot more of an eyesore too.
Well, I guess we're not gonna do anything till we actually get
Awarded model.
So these ain't the actual plans yet?
They're not the final ones, but they're the,
We bid it out on these?
no, it says right now that you can.
Yeah, we can get the other ones back before we can bid it out.
So in his email, on the back page there, it says in the next couple weeks, you should have final ones.
In other words, we might as well just postpone this till February meeting.
So at finance last month, they wanted me to put it on the agenda for this month, the portable ones. But I'm sure they would appreciate any recommendation from you guys as far as, it was an ARPA request to use for those portable restrooms. Do we wanna hold off on that for now and wait, or?
We gotta hold off to see how much this is gonna cost.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we wanna proceed with with anything on that until we get these plans back.
So you're not gonna, I mean, so say in 2 weeks you get the plans back, the final ones back, you know, we'll still have to put an RFP out, so you're really not gonna get nothing back for another 2 months probably, by the time you get numbers in.
So you're basically suggesting we take it up at the March meeting? We'll have to have it on agenda for next month.
I put it on the agenda at least, but
Seek bids, proposals.
Maybe you could even have the RFP ready to go get approval at next month's meeting and post it after that. And then again, how those come back, then make a decision of whether we wanna go with the stick built versus those portable units.
yeah, it's depending on whatever you guys wanna go for time frame. I typically go 3 weeks to 4 weeks, putting them out for bid, but if you guys wanna go 1 week or 2 weeks, it's up to you, whatever.
So have the packet ready in March or February.
Yeah, I would think if you bring the RFP back next month, to get approval for that, and then it gets posted right after that, then at the March meeting is when we could do the bid opening.
Okay. Proceed on that direction. Concrete repair, what's that? What's item C?
I guess I put the concrete, on my preliminary one here I sent to the clerk, but, I just wanted to give you guys an update that, you know, we're gonna be doing, some concrete repairs out there. Just like we did, this year, we did some asphalt repair, we did some concrete repair. There's a couple areas when we went through the fairgrounds walk, but that needed some concrete, probably sooner than later, otherwise, it's been years of back pitch and wrecking everything. So, I'd like to get that taken care of. Get that taken care of, also I had, it's not on the agenda here, I put it on here, but, just a update, I guess, grandstand seating install in spring and summer, that should be done in this, hopefully this, summer of 2024 here.
That would be under the fairgrounds update.
Correct.
Yeah. The concrete, you're just gonna do like in-house?
We'll just do it ourselves, otherwise you're gonna pay 50-60% more.
It's not structural, it's just
So,
patching bad spots.
just flat work.
I guess something else on that. The jug, pool,
Thanks, Jackie.
whatever that is. I guess that was a separate one.
That's the hot spot, right?
Question, what's the policy?
Do you want a car, or, I don't know, record it.
Yeah, so she has, we supplied her with a phone, she wants another one.
Well, and the phone has hotspot capabilities.
So she currently has,
Yes,
so she wants a
so it
separate one.
operates as a phone and a Wi-Fi device.
I said she wanted a separate one.
So my understanding is she's not getting reception with your phone, so we made the argument last time that, well, it's running off Verizon towers, it's running off Verizon towers, so it'd be a difference. But it looks like, Bugs had some information from Verizon that the MiFi device does potentially pull in, more internet than just a hotspot on a phone. Yes. Yeah.
So what's, I guess I don't understand what the request is.
So
Well, I think we took it away from her, right? Now she wants it back.
Well, she had-
Originally, she requested the MiFi, we gave her a phone, right?
No, she had the MiFi, and then she wanted a phone in
That's right.
addition to the MiFi.
And then we gave her a phone. why do you need both? It's just a hotspot on your phone. And then they started using the Wi-Fi again, and we're like, well, stop using it, because why do you need both? It's the same towers.
Well, and like, we don't provide internet for any of our employees, you know, that's part of our, you know, when we did have a work from home policy during COVID, was that, you know, the county will not provide internet. So,
But
and I
now,
don't know what the oversight committee had recommended on this, the justice youth and extension, what was the recommendation?
One or the other.
One or the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, cause our, you know, our policy within our employee handbook is that if you have a request for like a cell phone, either reimbursement or county issued cell phone, that you go to your oversight committee for approval, and then it comes to property. So, the oversight,
but does there become an issue, like she said, she's not gonna be able to come in and sign them? So then they gotta send somebody out to your house to get a warrant, right?
he ain't gonna come in.
Right, she said she's not gonna. So, if she doesn't come in and do that, and you're sending somebody out there, is that what, somebody's hard situation? To where, and I guess I don't know how long of a notice law enforcement usually has when they want a warrant. I'm guessing it's like, they know somebody's in the house and they want it right away. So does that, Jeff would be a good guy to talk about this. Cause I'd be more concerned about, is this gonna delay law enforcement by not having that available?
But like, if it's a county employee that's expected to work on the weekend, and if they wanna work from home rather than come in, we're not paying for their internet. Right.
So it's my understanding that the phone was for signing warrants, correct? Warrants?
Yeah.
And then the MiFi is for signal that are out there. And that, from what I understand, is that the phone, the hotspot, does not get no signal at all out there. The MiFi does, and that has worked in the past, since she hasn't had it. It doesn't work.
Use my file, another phone just like that.
It is, but it doesn't have the calling capabilities, it's a wireless device, like,
So, according to the email from Bugs here, it sounds like, being that it's just a separate device, that's its only job is collecting a reception for hotspot rather than the phone part too. It does actually give that reception, that question, I actually, called and talked to Ned about it. And, she said it, you know, I was like, well, have you tried putting your phone in different spots? I wanna make sure it's out of problem out there. She said, no, that, you know, we talked to Bugs that reaching out to Verizon, it didn't make a difference. Just the MiFi device. So,
Question? How often do you have to ever sign the warrants and stuff for the judge?
You can't really say twice a week, sometimes it could be 4 times a week, could be not at all, I mean,
if you have to send somebody out to her house to get a warrant, that could delay you guys. I guess I don't know, generally, if you want a warrant,
I
are
mean-
you like ready to go on the gate, or do you got time to drive
well,
out?
a lot of times the warrants were needed or for what do I, you know, for the blood draw, so you don't want to waste time because everything has to be within that time frame. If she's home and she lives right south of town here, it's not a huge deal to run out there to do it.
I guess somebody's over by a warehouse or something.
Well, but they gotta go to the hospital to do a blood draw.
Oh, I got you.
And most of the time, if we do a blood draw, they come here to the jail, and then the inmate's held here at the jail while they get the warrant. And then, once the warrant's signed, then they get the inmate and take them out and get the blood draw. That's how it works. But I can't say that it's a huge amount of time. I mean, warrants for anything like a house warrant, a car warrant, or anything like that, that's not a immediate right now need thing. Usually we can,
See, I was thinking those to be the more immediate need thing.
but not usually.
I suppose you're planning and.
Cause we're usually planning that, and then, you know, we have everything set up, so, but, you know, there's occasion we need them right away, but it's not a ton of time.
Does it
No, the only time it becomes an issue is if she's not in town, and, we either have to go to Barry to get it signed, or if sometimes she allows Terry to sign it. But, as far as doing electronically, I mean, it's more convenient, but it's not, I don't know that we've had one that's that urgent. Yeah, I can go back in a couple minutes and look up and see how many warrants we've had signed in the last 6 months. If you want to go back there.
Well, I guess you probably have a pretty good feel of the sense of urgency on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and as far as warrants, I don't know every warrant that's signed, you know, they go through the investigators usually, and then
Oh, gotcha.
Phil reads the reports, I usually don't even see the reports, so, but I know it's not a lot. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. It doesn't sound like that
The usage of it.
would, make a big difference if the electronic signing of the warrant was available or not.
And, I mean, it's nice, it's
Well, and-
convenient.
It's
Well,
convenient, but it
overseeing
wouldn't
committee's
necessarily
recommendation,
affect,
but, I mean,
getting the job done necessarily.
Of course, this is a caution.
All three investigators are over, I'll ask her what their opinion is, and I'll be right back.
no,
Okay.
but the argument was is that with that amount of usage, it wasn't just being used to the sign of warrants.
Well,
Did you get an answer to that question?
as far as that part though, if, okay, all the people that have phones in the county, do they not take personal calls on them? I mean, if you're having a device and it's got internet, why wouldn't you use it for?
I don't think that county phone, like, if they have a county phone, they also have a personal,
And nobody's ever taken a personal call on their county phone?
that I don't know.
I'm sure they have. I'm just gonna, if you have Wi-Fi and the company's paying for it, why would you not use it if it doesn't cost the county extra? As far as if somebody uses it for personal use because they already have it, who cares, right?
But I think.
But as
their
far
point
as,
was that it was excessive.
Well, it's not just that. The fact is, you talk about this Wi-Fi, it's like internet service. Not everybody get internet service on their phone.
right, but it sounds like she's having problems getting internet at her house on her phone.
I'll make the motion to stay with one. Stay with the oversight committee, perfectly said.
Do we wanna wait, just to let that approach back and stuff to the investigator?
Tom?
Does her phone never work, or is it like dependent on weather, or?
I don't know.
Apparently, it sounds like the phone is very sketchy out where she lives.
Sounded like the phone was spotty to begin with, just the calling part of it, and then the internet was like, she said she had to drive blocks away or something in order to get internet reception.
So this is right from, this was sent about here in Rusk sent it to me, but this is right from the government account manager from Verizon. The jetpack usually will be able to hold in service better because they have a larger battery and they only have one job.
So they agree with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Nothing that urgent, so.
Unlike the smartphones and that, so, and I believe Bucks can correct me, but I believe it's $36 roughly a month for that Wi-Fi, I believe. And, it's unlimited data, so it don't matter if you use, you know, if it's being used a little or a ton. It's the same. And I know she said it's coming out of her budget anyways, so it's getting paid for it, her budget.
Huh? Right, we had a motion by Jerry. Is there a second? At one point. Is there a second? All right, I'll second. So we can vote on it. discussion.
So she has two phones, she doesn't need the ML5 or whatever it is.
She has one, they phone, the county phone, and then she doesn't need the MiFi device. Is the, argument. And it doesn't sound like they care if they have to drive out there to get one.
Not very often. Already, I don't know if it's, needs a, might buy to sign a warrant.
Yeah, to do it electronically, it sounds like they need it.
That was the justification for the phone, because then when she wasn't at home, she could sign it on that, do it on the phone.
What he said too. What if she's on vacation?
She's got the phone to do it on.
But it sounds like they've
Do they
been
go to
going to
some other-
Barron or
Some other,
getting used for it.
judge too.
Give you guys a little bit of background on it. The way it originally started was just that if she's out of the area or anything like that, she wanted a phone with internet capabilities. We specifically bought her a higher end phone, that was exactly what she had personally. If she knew how to use it, wouldn't be that much transition issue. And then, we got the hotspot feature on the phone. It's an extra $5 a month for us. That is also unlimited. After that, she came back shortly thereafter and said, hey, it's not working well, because of the spotty cell service and everything like that. And that's when she said, hey, but before when I had the MiFi, I was able to use that. Okay. So we gave her the IT department's MiFi to use over the weekend. I also gave her a home cell booster system, to try out. One we had used at Animal Shelter before we went to, SpaceX. And then so she came back about 2 weeks later, said, MiFi is working well. Okay, not a big deal. But on the phone itself, we do have not just the phone and its service, we've got the $5 on there for the hotspot, which if you guys choose to take that off, that's fine, we can do that, no problem. The other part is she's also got specialized software on that phone so that she can sign warrants. She can redact them, she can do anything she wants to the warrant before she signs it. Obviously it's on a small screen, so it's not gonna be exactly easy to modify a warrant, but that was what she had requested and that's what we got. So she's claiming that the MiFi works well and that the internet in the phone does not. So if we took away the internet from the phone, that's $5, but you've still got the two initial costs, one would be at the Rock, approximately $40, another one at $36.01. If you're looking at it that way, if you took away both, okay, it's fine too. But at least that way you guys have an idea of what equipment she does have. And I know the issues come up about how much data she's used. This last month I'm looking at here isn't bad at all, but Charmaine had kept, when she was doing the Verizon bills, she had kept usages for the last 12 months, and it wasn't uncommon to see 200 to 300 gigabytes of data in a month, which is not signing warrants. It's not. IT, who sometimes we use a hotspot when updating computers or anything else that we need to do, whether off-site or anything else. I think we just barely over 5 gigs, and that's for my whole team. That's all, 3 of us. But I think that was a whole other concern. I don't know if that's been addressed at all. We kind of mentioned it to her before, like, hey, there's something wrong. you know, because that kind of usage is just bonkers. But that might be a different, issue completely. But I think that's kind of what Jamie was bringing up, the idea of just the total amount of usage.
But it doesn't make any cost difference on usage, right?
No, it doesn't. And so then you look at the policy, okay, what's the policy say about, you know, using county resources? Same thing like you said, you know, if somebody's got a county phone, do they answer a personal call in there? You know, we don't look through it to see. Answer's probably yeah, I would guess so. You know, especially if, you know, they're doing something and their significant other, family, whoever else calls on the phone, they're probably thinking it's pretty important, you know, better get this. Hopefully they're not using it as constant communication, but that's a level of trust you have to have with your employees. If you find one that's abusing it, fine, deal with it. But I think those might be separate issues that you guys are all looking at.
Right, I guess now, I guess the concern was that she wouldn't be able to sign electronically, and that was gonna be in my opinion, that was gonna be a great convenience to, police officers, but it doesn't sound like, it's probably gonna affect, any cases they're working on or anything, so I guess based on that, I would say, just the phone, I don't think it's necessary.
Alright, anybody else got anything you wanna add on?
I just doubt, anybody gone out there and used their own private phone and see what the connection is?
I did offer to, I told her, I said I'd come out and look to see, cause I accused her of being not tech savvy on the phone, like, I'm guessing you're not as tech savvy as me, I said I'd come out and just see if I could get your phone to work for a hotspot better. And then she was explaining, yeah, I just talked to her last night, so, I mean, I'd be willing to. If she wanted to, I'd go out and see if I can get her better reception on her, you know, cause if you're putting your MiFi here, and you put your phone here, maybe a location thing, although it sounds like you play with, boosters too, so.
I honestly, I don't know if she ever set it up or not. So I'm hoping she did.
I think she had mentioned boosters, but then again, I would guess she's probably not quite as tech savvy as, somebody who's growing up on phone. Yeah, I think she alluded to that.
The only thing I'm gonna refer to as the salesman, again, just from Verizon, just, the jetback will be able to pull service better because they have a larger battery and they only have one job, unlike smartphone devices.
And I would agree with that, but I think as far as needing the electronic work, cause it's the unnecessary part is what it sounds like. So if it's not necessary, I guess it's not necessary.
Okay. Motion for one device, following the recommendation of the oversight committee. Ready to vote? Alright, all those in favor of the motion, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Can I get clarification on the one device then, if she's gonna keep the cell phone, do we keep the hotspot feature for her, or we do not?
I would, because maybe she would be, if she's in another spot, she may use that.
Okay.
And yes, somebody disagrees, but she may use it if she's traveling and she's got a better spot, I would guess.
Okay.
So you're saying the hotspot feature is $5 a month?
Yes.
We're basically just approving the phone with the hotspot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not approved.
with and having a chapel, you can chapel.
So I
Well,
guess,
it's really just for the clinic at that point.
I think you wanted the chapel also.
Well, it sort of grew, I
Right.
thought.
Huh?
I thought it sort of grew.
Yeah, it
This-
had,
Well, then we can throw this one in.
it had, now, I had an email from Troy.
Well, I don't know, they might have actually here to discuss this.
Yeah.
I just said, the next one's.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I guess that's why.
Concerning what's going on now.
Yeah, we don't know what it is, yeah.
You can call her, she said.
Well, I don't think we even know what the description, the money for, you know, the lots, any of that, we don't, I don't think we have a plan yet.
Kudos gotta sign the board.
I just wanna point out, I'm not sure how the board can consider an offer when we haven't even, first of all, the site's not clear. Nothing has been discussed by the board, there has been no advertising at all for, you know, if the board, I mean, the board hasn't even decided if we were gonna sell it or not. So I'm not sure, how can we entertain an offer?
Well, my feeling is this, you can't do anything until that Haas project is completed.
Exactly.
if you were in the middle of demoing your house and somebody said, I'll give you $10 million for it, would you say, I'm in the middle of demoing, I'm not gonna consider offers until it's demoed?
Number,
We weren't offered 10
that's
million.
not, that's not,
If you were offered $1 million,
that's the question here. The question
And
here is.
that, yeah, it doesn't apply, you can't think that way. So
I think we should look at this just like you would business.
Can't,
I-
still,
that's-
we can't do that, I'm sorry. You cannot offer to somebody, that's not fair to anybody else I might be interested in.
No, but I think it should be, I think we should, any offers that come in, we should discuss, I think it's a
We can
discussion.
discuss it, but we can't rule on it.
If it's a good offer, we should, and if it's a bad offer, we should.
You're not,
We can't do that.
it's under contract. You can't violate that contract, it's gotta be 3
We
weeks
can't agree to sell something after the demolition's done.
afterwards, you can't do it during.
Afterwards, but you can't just sell it to a single bidder, you have to open it up, that's only fair. If somebody else is interested in that and we just say, oh, Mr. Vance, yeah, we'll just take yours, you're the first one, first come, first served, you can't do that.
Well, I think though that an offer that comes in gives chance to have more offers, at the very least, we should at least be looking when offers come in.
I think it needs to be put out.
And I think the board said that we should, the property committee should be looking at what's gonna be done there.
Well, we don't know. We're discussing the possibility of using the current building itself down the road for relocating Health and Human Services. Well, that's been one discussion.
That'd be a horrible idea.
Why would that be horrible?
Why, you're gonna cost that much money to the county to reload health and human services out there?
What would, to move some people over there, that's awesome.
Oh, now you're gonna maintain a building and turn down at least $1 million, and like you said, you might even have higher offers.
We have to put it out.
We don't need a bunch
That
more
doesn't
buildings,
include
you just
that
keep
offer.
growing the government, and it just keeps costing people more money.
I think regarding both those items, the ink is barely dry on us buying the clinic. And so now for the first time, we own from, what's the name of the road again?
How's that?
No, Port Arthur
Port Arthur
Road,
Road.
all the way to the river, for the first time. And I think we would not be doing a service to taxpayers. We need to explore all options on that, we should not be rushed into something. We need to put it out for, I don't wanna say bids, but for inquiries, is anybody interested in it? Somebody may want the whole, all of it, and if we start going in and clumping, well, okay, the clinic's out of bounds, we're gonna get rid of that first. That could prevent somebody else from doing inquiries, bids if you wanna put it that way, who's
So
interested?
let's put it up for bids, if that's what you're suggesting.
Well, that's what I'm suggesting, because we've gotta do that first, and if nothing happens out of that after 3 or 4 months, okay, then maybe there isn't interest in all that, but we can't start chopping it up, which may prevent somebody from doing the whole thing without even finding out.
I'll second that.
I don't believe that you should put it out for bid until the site is cleared, so that any prospective
No,
buyers can see the
we can't move
potential.
on to that.
But you don't think a good contractor's gonna know what that looks like clear? I mean, a contractor of that, if it's gonna take over a project like that, knows what it's gonna look like. My concern is we wait and then now we're, you know, oh, well, now we got, it's already been this long, now we might as well just hold on to it for a little while and we end up by never getting rid of the darn thing.
I don't think that's.
I don't think that's.
If somebody's
the scenario at all.
interested before, if a contractor says, hey, I know what this looks like empty, why wouldn't you, if that's what we wanna do, advertise, you know, over Chicago or wherever. Maybe they come in too low, maybe we're saying, yeah, it's better to wait, but what would be the harm of entertaining offers now?
I disagree, I just think we're pushing it.
I don't think you have to wait until it's completely leveled and, end of June 30th or whenever Haas is done with it. I mean, that would be stipulated that you cannot take possession of it or do anything in the first place. But to get the word out there, because Mr. Rance is going to be back with, if I remember right, he wanted to be in there in January because they were gonna start building the walls and everything for the K through, 8th grade school, because they wanted to start that in September, and he at one point said that they needed to be in there starting in January, because it's gonna take 9 months to get the walls up and redo all this. But I see no harm in marketing it now, even before it's down. I mean, obviously, they're not gonna get it until the work is done. And whoever applies or makes requests, but like I say, this is a once in a lifetime thing.
Oh.
And we just have, like I say, first time, Port Arthur to the river. And I think we have to be careful and not just be pushed into things or.
I don't see the rush in this, and back to your home example, so, all right, you're gonna try to sell your home, right? It's in shambles. Are you gonna get more money if you try to sell it that way, or are you gonna get more money if you first redo the house, remodel it and
It would
fix it
depend
up?
though, if somebody came along, or I'm specifically interested in, this building, cause it's, for whatever reason, and I, don't care about what condition it's in right now.
Well,
I guess it,
I don't think we want to even touch this right now.
if somebody's looking for a lot, if I'm tearing down my house, they know what the lot's gonna look like before I tear it down, it's not gonna make a difference, so I don't think.
This is
Right.
this is right now, this is a three-way conversation, because we have an offer to purchase.
Well, with that, we gotta check to see if it's,
That offers also
Because that was-
changed since you came to the full
cause that was
board.
contingent on the chapel though, right, so you might wanna
And
check.
so, we still have to, at the very least, we'd have to negotiate with Haas. And it'd have to be a two-way negotiation somehow. And to do that, I think it might cost us money.
What was there to be to negotiate?
Huh?
What was, how's it?
Because at this point in time, Haas has control of the property.
Right, but the offer could be contingent accepting ownership on June, or done, whatever.
Well,
But again, I don't know if Grant's is offered, I guess I don't know who's talked to him, if they're still interested or not, being this contingent on, capital.
there was also another party added to the equation. So you do for sure.
And another one,
And
there's another name on
the name was, yeah, the name was changed also. there's a lot of flux here, and I don't like it at this point.
Well, and the only thing that I saw was that it was valid till what, January 26th, something like that. And so we're not gonna make a decision today anyhow. And I agree with you, Tony, that we really can't do anything about either one of these things.
As a matter of fact, we have an underground fuel storage tank there, it's got a good big. We just managed to finally find somebody to insure that in case there's a leak somehow, or whatever, damage from removing it. Now, just contamination, or what's that gonna do to the property? We don't know. I mean, there's too many unknowns yet. I don't think we even wanna look down that road yet.
So if part of it is right now, why wouldn't you at least entertain talking to them? Because in 6 months on the road, they still might be interested. I don't know, it's like I said, I don't even know if that offer, if it's valid or not, because it sounds like there's a contingent on the chapel.
Talk, we can always talk, but we're not gonna make a decision on it. That's all I'm saying. We can
I would
talk.
think we start fishing now, though, for whatever you think, if we don't go with that offer, there's another offer, I think it doesn't hurt to fish ahead of time.
Well, we're not gonna move on today, I know that. I don't think we're.
But that brings up another discussion, we should be having this discussion, are we gonna put HHS out there, or are we gonna sell it?
We haven't
I don't
said-
think we should be putting HHS, that's
We
my
haven't-
opinion,
that
obviously
hasn't
there's
been
different
decided.
opinions, but I think we should figure that out, so we're not like the hospital, where the day, you know, it's like, for years before I was even on the board, people knew this was coming, and it was last second, figuring out what needed to be done. And I think that we should at least start having discussions on what we're gonna do with the building, rather than waiting until we have an empty lot there, and the clinic building sitting there. My understanding, the reason we bought the clinic building was just to free up the lots, and we had some negotiated price, but we weren't planning on keeping it at the time.
Well, to get rid of the 99-year lease.
Yeah.
That was the main thing.
It was. And actually, it turned out that we got that building basically for a song. We don't have a.
Right, well, we not only, got out of that wind down fund thing, but the leases, it worked out really good that way. I don't think we can keep it because of that.
The future of HHS is up in the air too, it depends on what we do with the jail, if we do the jail.
Well,
There's two
that's
options
discussion.
there.
And that we've been hearing on, it changes every week on the reason we need a jail.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we need to,
That we just need to quit that project.
well, that's
I
not.
suggest we move on,
Yes.
because like I say, this will not get resolved today.
Okay, moving on. Buildings and grounds.
Well, if you guys could bear with me here, I'm just gonna reference the agenda and then, kind of my ask for the agenda, kinda, just so I can compare, just cause the format's a little different than what it has been since I've been here anyways. So, first thing here, we'll go for the government center here, and I'll just, this is just kind of an update, and this would tie into, F and G, with, approved courthouse boiler drive repair, that's already been approved. I just wanted to give you guys an update that that's gonna happen here this spring, summer here. G also, there's a courthouse area in there, that's been approved already by you guys. That's just gonna that'll probably happen here, I would say, in, winter, spring here, kinda. And then, let me see here. So the gateway building, that's already been done, I mean, that's completed. I just wanted to tell you that it's completed, you know, I asked for the, sheriff's area, last month, you guys allowed me to get it, we moved them completely. That area is gonna be great for all the stuff we have to put in there, you know, we have a lot of fair stuff in there. And that take up a lot of room, you know, the inflatables and all that are kind of cumbersome, and that, they're, I mean, great things, they're just cumbersome, and take up a lot of room. And then, so we'll go to, the old hospital. So I've been asked by Jason, and I haven't been getting a weekly report that often, so I've been giving him, kind of a reminder, but I'm just gonna, lead off here. Okay, just a heads up, probably Monday through Wednesday, he told me, on January 10th that they may not be there just due to, cold temperatures for their machines and stuff, and I get it, I mean, if it's below zero, all your hydraulics and everything, you don't want them, but, he asked me, and I told him I'd ask you guys, he's wondering if he could use I'll just read his email here soon. Would Oz be able to pull power from the old clinic? We are looking for a source to plug our equipment in for block heaters. And then I told him I'd ask you guys, so there is in the back side there, you know, there's like six outside outlets there. I told him if it was me, I'd say yes, but, I'd have to ask you guys, I'm sure you guys are gonna want some sort of a fee in that, but, I mean, I don't know, my recommendation would be to say, yeah, go ahead and just have them, I don't know, knock $1,000 or something off his, quote or something, I mean, if you can't get his machine started, it's gonna take longer, you know?
I mean, we're providing the power for them, or they did have power until it was cut off at the old hospital building. And I don't think that the cost would be, yeah, honestly, I don't know that it's even worth requesting any payment, but that's up to
I'll
you
make a
guys.
motion to approve. Okay, and a motion made and seconded, allow us to get in the equipment.
We could just read the meter now and read the meter when they're done and charge them no electrical rate. So,
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, and we have, well, Michael's is in that clinic building, so there's not,
Oh,
there's
they are
usage, yeah, so there's usage other than,
No,
or they're not going to, oh, I thought, okay, sorry.
No, they.
But it's gonna vary because we've been going in there constantly, and, I'll get to it here more, but if you guys are okay with just letting them use it.
Yeah.
I told them personally, I would do it, say yes, but, I'd have to confer with you guys, just because it's not gonna take a lot of power.
the quicker they get out of the way, the more we can make decisions.
Correct.
We have a motion made and seconded to allow us to plug his equipment in, especially during the cold, hard to set. So, any more discussion on that? If not, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and then, so the clinic, so since, basically the day after Christmas, I've had 1,312, fire alarms and smoke alarms that I've had to address, since the 26th. So we're trying to get that straightened out. I've got a slew of emails from Marshfield Clinic saying that they don't wanna get called anymore.
How many alarms did you say?
1,312. So, you know, while everybody's been off for the holidays, me and some maintenance guys have come in, but, you know, we took care of it, but, I just wanna bring it to your attention, so, I finally got a hold of Johnson Controls. It's been, I got probably 40 hours into it right now, getting hold of Johnson Controls, Simplex for now. A lot of that don't reflect anything, you know, on my paycheck, so I got a hold of them, so just so you guys know, you guys are gonna have a bill for Johnson Controls, because in order for you to lease that building out, you guys wanted to get Michael's in there before, so I had to scramble to get that all working and going, because the fire inspector wasn't gonna allow anybody to go in there until that was resolved, which is understandable. 1,312 alarms since the 26th of December.
What was causing all these alarms to go off?
Smoke alarms, zone valve, sprinkler issues. So one of the main things was that one of the smoke alarms was tied into the old hospital. So that was one of the main issues. You had some kids, I'm gonna say kids, vandalism. Somebody broke into the breezeway area there and pulled the fire alarm. So we actually had to go, I sent the guy to Chippewa to go meet a Johnson Control guy and get a new pole station for that area before we could reset it. And get it up and running. But it's up and running now, everything's good. We just gotta get Johnson Controls and Simplex Grinnell on board. They're gonna be sending me new applications so that we get our Rusk County under it. But so that runs under a phone system right now. So, and I haven't looked into it too much yet, but, we have to have a dedicated phone line for that system to run. So it's all working yet, and everything's good with it. I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that there's been a lot of stops, frequent stops out there.
What's the company besides Johnson Control, the other one, how are they involved?
Well, it's
What's their business?
Simplex Grinnell. It used to be Simplex Grinnell, and I think Johnson Controls bought them out.
Oh.
And then, so I called, the thing is, when you call somebody, you get a hold of somebody in Missouri, and they transfer you from here. I got transferred dozens of times. I finally got a hold of a tech, and he helped me, and we got it kind of straightened out. And then, I guess moving on, I see, joint management buildings are on here now, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I said on the format, since I've been here, I've never seen joint management on this, agenda ever, and that, I just wanted to point that out to you guys.
Well, that's not, it's never been specifically pointed out as joint management, but all the buildings that are housekeeping, whatever you wanna call it, is responsible for it, are the only buildings. And you do have them, serving joint manager buildings all along. So it just, we list it as an item rather than just assuming. You do the animal shelter, or you do Fritz Avenue. They're somewhat involved with gates. And you have the, Enterprise Center. Those are all joint management projects that you do go out there and work on. So,
All the agenda items are approved by the chair. Did you know what I need?
okay,
Okay,
that's right.
thank you.
And then, I just wanted to bring this up here, so the courthouse, I guess we probably should approve it here. So there'll be some concrete repairs, that are much needed. In front of the Sally Port, there's a pretty big area there that is a very trip hazard area there, that needs repairs. A lot of this stuff, we're gonna do it ourselves, so we're gonna save, 40-50%, but, it'll be over $1,500. I can guarantee it, so probably should get approval from you guys. The Sally Port area, the dock area, and the south ADA ramp, all have like severe trip hazards, severe. I guess I could, just throw out a rough number. I would say it'd be, if we did it ourselves, roughly around $5,000 to $10,000.
Well, what's this now for? Concrete?
Concrete repairs around the courthouse.
Outside of the, out in front here, where most of us, the work is needed, where else is it?
In front of the Sally Port right out here.
That's right, that's that whole street there, Third Street, they're gonna call it. Whatever needs to be done alongside Third Street, and you're looking at 10,000.
So in front of the Sally Port here, in front of the south entrance ramp, ramp, that needs to be done in front of the loading dock areas. It hasn't patches, I mean, not proper patch, it isn't patched.
So what would you use to patch it then?
Concrete.
We're not gonna
So
get,
you tear out.
We have to saw cut it and tear it out and re-pour it.
you're not gonna do that.
Can't do it now.
You're not gonna do it now anyway.
No, I just wanna get approval to start, so I can start on it in spring.
Well, you're not gonna start on it before April, obviously, because of frost, freezing cold. I don't think you need to do anything right now.
I just don't wanna go over my $1,500 that I can spend at a time, so I just wanted to get approval so I could, properly plan for stuff.
They'll also need to know what dollar amount that they're approving, usually they have, you know, so
Well, that's why I'm giving a budget number of $5,000 to $10,000.
Would we, so there's a couple of different locations, would that normally be broken down into different projects?
I would, because I wouldn't do it all at once.
Do you think some of the smaller projects would come in under 1,500?
I think that
Right.
all three would be over probably. If it would, I wouldn't ask it.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
And also on the same token, I have, courthouse asphalt repairs and, track seal repairs. Last year we did quite a bit of stuff out in the parking lots and that. I did that within my allowance, but, I think, this would probably be a little more than 1,500 also.
so there again, I don't know if we're gonna do any of that before we start getting into some warm weather, are we?
Again, I'm just trying to plan that.
Well, I would say go ahead and, break it down into different portions, if you wanna call it that. Like the salary board, out front with them. What's in the cost to fix the ramp on the south end and the dock area? And those are separate. They could be listed as separate projects with an estimate for each one of them. We may do some of them, we may not do, and we maybe do all, but we don't know. I think we need to have a,
But still probably have to bring it back before it gets warm out.
that's
So that
what,
we
I
can
understand that, but I think I'd like to see broken down part of what areas they're gonna do, how much is gonna be for each area.
Yeah, if you wanna do that, just break it down and bring it back on, alright, for the Sally Port area, $3,000 or whatever.
I can do that.
I understand wanting to get it approved before it's warm. All of a sudden, needing approval yesterday. Does that make sense?
Even though I'm not from Missouri now, I know what to look at before next month.
Okay, I can do that, then, for the gateway over there, I told you about that already. Other than that, I mean, we should probably be okay for the county-owned buildings, courthouse.
Supposed to take up this bid opening now,
Oh, yep.
east entrance. Slate Glass and Door Incorporated, main entrance on the east side of the building. Okay, this orders to remove, shear and interior entrance and dispose, furnish and install new exterior pair of doors with radius transom. Now, this is standard clear aluminum finish and white style doors, 10-inch bases. One clear tempered insulated glass units, 2 by 4.5 material center set. Hardware included. Handicap operator, receiver, bond rim annex, rim cylinder roll, etc. New interior pair of doors with radius transom. Standard clear aluminum finish and white style doors, 10-inch bases. 4-inch clear tempered glass, that's on the interior set. Of course, all the associated hardware. And resistant open steel caulk material. Somehow, $32,218. Lead time on materials is 8 to 10 weeks. No automatic operators shall operate independent of each other and shall utilize the bollard post ball buttons located between the exterior and interior entrance. All electrical work by others. If you want to move forward this week, please sign date and return. And this is, 30 days from the date on it.
This is the ones we get the HHS funds for.
Correct. Grants, including grants.
That was the only bid.
Right. Make a motion to approve.
So we still have to get an electrician to do all the work.
Yeah. What was the number on there?
$32,218.
I would say you'd be safe to add another 5,000, 4 or 5,000 for, would be safe on that number,
For electrical.
for an electrician, that's probably high, I bet you, I'll be honest with you, I think probably 2,000 would be fine with, but
This is for the entrance door that people are supposed to come in now, right, off the parking lot.
Right.
But it does not include any security system, I mean, metal detector or anything like that.
no. So Bugs and his team will have to probably work with, electronic door also, that's kind of why I shot out $5,000, just because you got the electrician, you're gonna have, our cost for that, so if that was 32,000, I would say up to 37,000 should be covered.
You said it doesn't cover it now, it's not gonna be absent.
No, they are going to require them.
Well, you made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Approve up to 35,000. 37,000.
All right, up to 37,000. Motion made by Jerry, seconded by Phil, to approve repairing the east entrance doors or whatever it is associated. Right.
That's from the
Bicycle glass, whatever it is.
Just like, HHS, go down.
Can I get a copy of that sent to me, that's approved in this?
All right, next, I guess we're down to airport report.
The airport, bear with me here, I'm reading off of 2 pieces of paper here. We're gonna just start with the runways update. I told you this, I think, the last couple months here, but the VOA, which is the state, they're gonna, this year, they're gonna do a main runway, improvement. Basically, it'd be, crack seal, some of the joints out there on the tracks are like this, 4 inches wide. And that, they're gonna replace that. I know one of the pilots out there, a couple of the pilots actually have concerns, sometimes when their front wheel hits, their propellers are not very far off the ground. If their propeller would hit the ground, it would cause extreme damage and may hurt somebody. But, that's gonna get fixed. The VOA pretty much pays they pay for 90%. The FAA pays for the FAA pays for 90%, the state pays for 5%, and we pay for 5%. So the runways that are covered are the main runway. The secondary runway is not covered, or the taxiways there, so we have to maintain them. But, my goal this year, this summer, fall, is to do a bunch of that, crack sealing and fixing out there. Well, I'm gonna do it probably ourselves, just because it's gonna save us a lot more money and that, and we don't have to wait for somebody else's schedule. We can do it when we have time. We can have highway do it as long as they give me a schedule and something when they're gonna be out there.
So I've talked to some of the other pilots out there, and they said that when our highway department did it, it was better than any of the other contractors that have done it out there.
So
What they've seen, they've got the line.
So if the VOA is gonna pay for all this, so they send it out for bids and they get all bids, so if the highway department sees that bid out there, they can bid on that, anyway. But, VOA actually hires SEH, consulting firm, and they take care of it. Yep.
So they bid it out, we don't deal with that.
Correct. For the main runway, you don't need it. But if you guys wanna do something on the secondary runways or anything like that, we have to pay for that 100%. I mean, the main runway needs to be done.
That's what the deal is.
Correct.
And I think that the VOA makes that payment directly to the vendor.
Correct. We just have to pay roughly 5%.
The VOA pays those vendors directly.
Maybe
Right.
with those Scott, that's the.
So county portion is 5%.
Mm-hmm.
What were we saying money aside for 5%?
Yes, yep, $7,500 a year.
There should be balance in that, huh?
Yes, some of it is held with the VOA and some of it we just hold here, and so we may be invoiced for part of that, but we have the money set aside for it.
We understand our 5% should pretty much be covered.
Mm-hmm.
So, then, I'll get with, Scott on the remainders of the, areas. So fuel, I guess, we really haven't been using a lot of fuel out there lately,
Pretty cold, or it's
Yeah.
kinda, it's been chunky weather, and
Yeah.
it's kinda that time of year, so.
We usually sell a lot more jet fuel, but, I think this jet's out, first plane's out, not around, so, right at the moment, but, okay, going to, leases, we just sent leases out, for everything. Channel Shire had helped a lot on that, I think Jamie helped a little bit on that, So the AWAS and weather tower, so that thing is, I just talked to the VOA guy yesterday, and, so that thing is severely out of date. It's like 4 generations old. And that,
They keep promising us an update.
yep, it's just, I think the past, probably, people never pursued it, or whatever. And I'm pursuing everything, because I don't wanna give away money anymore, like has been done for the last probably 10 years. And that.
Yeah, oh, good. you get that money out there, you might say, rather than having to go back, was it 4 years? After 4 years, go back or something like that?
Correct. So that's in the I just talked to him, and that was supposed to be slated for 2025, but he gave me kind of a heads up to say that we're gonna shoot for 24, just because it's that bad. And that, he said, I can't make no promises, but he's gonna shoot for 2024. And that would be.
Is there things happening with the temperature?
I do chairs.
The temperature dew point doesn't come up.
Correct, that's why I reached out to him, because I actually seen something on one of the posts or whatever, public posts or whatever, so I checked, and it sounds like the temperature and the dew point and stuff doesn't read. And I think what happens is like Channel 13 News, I think that's where they get their weather for ladies' control.
Yeah.
So if it
And
doesn't.
it's also, especially this time of year, you know, the closer the temperature the dew point is together, the more chance you're gonna have physical moisture in the air, which
Yep.
affects visibility as well as icing conditions. This time of year, you start to worry about icing a little more.
Yep.
And if you know, you're gonna have this moisture, nice and stuff, but physical moisture and increasing temperature, so it's a pretty important thing. I don't know, if you need to push some money on that.
Yep, and
Rover, what?
well, that's the thing, it's out of date, and I talked to the guy, and I think all the members of the public actually called the same guy and was complaining about it. And,
Okay.
basically, the head guy at DOA kind of told him it's not the airport's fault, it's just, it needs to be updated, and nothing is, the parts are obsolete now, so, but it's in the progress.
I remember a while ago, they were saying the same thing, that they're gonna wait out to fix the ceilings on the system. And then they ended up by getting, fixing the ceiling meter. That has been out for a year or so. It was something that I was like, wow, they're gonna upgrade the whole system soon.
Last year I had, two people come out and they fixed some stuff out on that in-law system. I don't know exactly what they fixed, but I know they fixed what they could with the parts that were available. And I think that's why they're trying to move it up, update it quicker, because a lot of the parts are obsolete.
Is there any kind of cost figure on that?
No, not as of now.
So is that why Channel 13 is getting more and more often?
Correct.
Weather around northern Wisconsin and Ladysmith is a blank a lot of times.
Correct.
Because it comes from there.
I don't look at their weather.
I think you pick it up.
I'm sure, right, right.
Well, according to what you said.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna throw it out here, I seen Annette walk in, I can hold off on everything I got if she wants to talk.
No, I will finish it up. Right there, a couple items, look, you got the airport concrete, what's that?
Okay, so concrete repairs, we've done concrete repairs already here in 2023. I'm just throwing it out there, we're gonna be doing more. There's around the terminal, actually, there's a lot of trip hazards on both sides, so we're just gonna remove and replace it. It's probably gonna be over $1,500 in that. Last year I kinda kept it under $1,500, but, it'll be, actually, I got your approval to do 5,000 last year. And if I could get your approval to do 5,000 again this year, I actually covered.
Well, again, this is gonna be done till probably May earliest.
Again, I like to plan ahead, and I usually have a monthly look ahead for my guys, so I try to be proactive rather than reactive.
You got asphalt repairs on here also. That's before you drive in, partner.
In fact, that's what Jerry just said, to get a hold of Scott on that.
All right, well, and you also have the septic repair, what's wrong with the septic?
So that's been on there for the last 2 months now, we're monitoring it. There is a leak somewhere, because it's filling up pretty rather quickly, or quicker than normal. And understand that, so I know in the past, maybe 2 years ago, somebody hit it one time, and I think the county tried to replace or repair it, and that, and, it's got some sort of leak in it, it's not a huge leak, but there's a leak.
Did it, so no, what's the pros?
It hasn't yet, it's full right now, so we're gonna have to pump it out again.
And after that, you think that was, isn't it, if it's a riser, I would assume once it's frozen, that it would stop leaking.
We're gonna throw more dye in the toilets and everything, we checked all that, we threw dye in the toilets and checked.
You said you didn't see anything from that, right?
No, so hope, something's leaking, I don't know if it's leaking from groundwater or what.
Well, I mean, that's what I was wondering, the riser system might be just dripping down from the top of the tank.
Correct.
Which, I guess, like I said, once it's frozen, if it stops leaking, that almost indicates it has to be something from, the tank side.
And this has been the third time we pumped it in about 5, 6 months, so it's more than normal,
Yeah.
you know.
Was it a lot, cause we had kind of a dry, year for a little while, was it a lot during that time, or was it after that? Or did-
Pretty much after that, I think we noticed it, the first time we noticed it, it was full, like overflowing.
I really wonder if it's, some of the tank.
What did you say about it got hit or something? What got hit?
I had heard a rumor before I got here that I don't know if a snowplow hit it or a vehicle hit it or what, but it sounded like, they got, Cece to come repair it or something. Cause that's what she did for a living.
Yeah.
Well, you're basically,
Riser most likely.
you're gonna have to wait till the warmer weather for that to get put in there.
Correct, I'm just gonna monitor it, I just wanna give you a heads up. We also, so I sent you guys all the email a while back, but we also got that end loader and 3 attachments, that finally came in, I pursued them pretty hard to get that, that's gonna be great, I mean, that's a brand new 926 cat.
We're gonna keep the airport out this year.
Yep, you betcha. So I just got the invoice from BOA. They just got it from Favorite Cat. I figured I'd give this to Jamie. She probably wants to get insurance on it and everything. It was $300,000. So basically we got $300,000 worth of stuff. We gotta pay $10,050. Here's, serial numbers and everything should be on there. So it just basically, BOA sent me this, taking a quick look at our financial statement, I'm showing the sponsor share is listed at $10,050. So roughly around that much, $300,000 worth of equipment. It's kind of a no-brainer there.
So we have to move that $10.
Yeah, they had some money on, they had a deposit on hand, I don't remember how much that they had there. But, I mean, use of BOA funds up to, yeah, is that what you said?
$10,050. And then, where's that coming from?
The RBOA, our airport allocation.
Okay. Jerry made a motion to approve, is there a second?
Clear.
By Phil.
Oh, sorry.
No. Did we vote on it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
I just wanna bring up the fuel master again, I know that's been on there for quite a while, but, they've been stringing us along on that. We just got, I worked with the treasurer's office and they got, finally the credit card, all situated. Simtech, the fuel master, have been waiting for that. And they got the new system, financial system is coming out, so I'm waiting for them to schedule it with me for install, so. I'm hoping they can do it yet this winter. If it's not this winter, it'd be in the spring here, but, that would definitely be great, the new fuel system out there. The one that's out there is 4 generations old, just like that AWAS tower. I mean, it's just, nothing's been,
I believe the fuel system when I see it, I think since I got on the board, we've been talking about that.
you guys said about the loader, and I got it.
That's true, you are getting things done a lot quicker up there.
If we get more planes out there, then we're more important.
Yeah.
But that's
You know, I got a spot, you can get a plane out there, we can share a hangar, looking for a spot.
Well, I don't wanna drag it out too much longer, but I got one more thing I forgot to tell you guys, so lots for purchase out in the north hangar there, I have one pilot asking to buy, I know there's some lots out there,
Is that the one that's renting a hangar right now?
yes. And, he wants to buy one out there in the old area there, and build a hangar, and, I just don't know, I'll talk to the VOA a little more, but, I think that's something we need to find out in-house almost, well, I talked to Dick Peterson, and that he said there was 3, maybe 4 lots out there that were available.
Yeah, and I asked Rich about it, cause when I did just a little bit of research on it, and other airports have what they call like a environmental impact fee, because we still own the land and then they build their hangar on the land, but the, tenants would pay like a, $5,000 to $10,000 environmental impact fee that gets put into the airport to be able to be used for, mowing costs, et cetera, potentially, demolition if at some point just to kind of abandon that hangar. But Rich wasn't aware that we had any sort of policy on that, or, he doesn't know what's been done in the past, cause it's been, those ones that have been out there for ages. Kind of looks like a little shanty town out there, really.
They continue to lease for land, correct?
Yes, and I'm trying to pull the map right
Cause we
now.
have some right now that are.
So, yeah, I have an aerial here of the north hangars that I kind of put together when, Andy left, and it's kinda hard to see, but these are the hangars that are there, and it looks like there's 2 lots here on this row, and then also one here. This is like the old terminal, and then there's so that'd be lot number 12, and then 5 and 6 are up there. So.
And I thought Dick Peterson, he said there was 3 there, well, he said there was 3 for sure, maybe.
Yeah, and cause there was also I think Andy had like a plat. So I also have a plat of,
Look at that.
yeah, and so I had one of the, oh, here we go. Yes, of the north lots, this is the plat, and that's kinda how I figured out that there was those lots that were filled. I think you have this, that's the next part sheet right there.
So they built the building and then leased a lot.
When this pilot leased a hangar in the south side, he asked me right away if he could buy one, because he wanted to build one. And I told him I'd find more information, I've been lacking that information, so I wanted to make a point to give him this information this winter.
He's renting one of the heated hangars, so if he moves out, the heated hangar went pretty quick for rent.
Yep.
I would have put a heated hangar, but I figured it was easier for us to rent that out, so it's in the whole one.
Anybody call for Rich about it?
I did, and he didn't really have any info on it,
I can do a little more research here, I just wanted to, let you know that.
Yeah, I wonder if, you're part of that airport managers, association, whatever it is. I wonder if you reach out to somebody in there, if you have an idea, or even if you wanted, we could reach out to LPA too.
Yep.
Check.
All the leases are all the same then? Or based on square footage or?
Yeah, there's like a
Square
couple
footage and
different
heated and-
lot size. Oh, yeah, so on the north side though, there's 2 different lot sizes, so it's like, there's not a lot of difference, maybe $30 a year between the 2 different lot sizes. Well, actually, there's, I
There's a
think,
heat,
3.
3 different, yeah. Yeah. There's a heated, non-heated, and then there's like a fourplex that has 4 of them in there, and then the ones that little.
Yeah, on the south, that's the south one, yeah, but on the north, I think there's just maybe the 2, 'cause we have rented out that that old terminal before, but you guys are using that for equipment right now, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So no action at this time, we're gonna investigate further.
Yep.
Alright. At the end of it,
Yeah, that's on, for the airport here. Thank you guys.
okay. Moving on, we got chief judges here.
Morning.
Well, I guess you basically finish up this.
Alright, I sent an email about the MiFi, but I didn't include everybody, cause I only used the names that were in the book, so I'm sorry, I didn't include everybody.
I'm new.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm the baby.
they look familiar.
Young Phil?
Young Phil. So I sent kind of a lengthy email, cause I knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of time, this has kind of gone back and forth, so I don't know if that answered any questions or muddied it even more. And then I did I send it to everybody, the email that, IT had received about the MiFi, that it can be more powerful than a hotspot. I don't know, all I can tell you is the MiFi works, the hotspot doesn't. But I did think, after I sent that this morning, because there was another option in there about, using an Ethernet cord. And I can do that, I have Ethernet, in my home, but, with the MiFi, if I travel, and I do have cases in 6 other counties besides Rusk, so particularly Sawyer County, Washburn County, when I'm going there, if I have that MiFi with, I do have service on the way up there where I wouldn't otherwise, so not that that's all that important, because if there's a search warrant, they could wait until I actually got to Sawyer and have capabilities there, but I do own property in the UP, and when I go, the MiFi gives me the capability, so the only other alternative would be to have the court commissioner do it. And every time he comes in to sign a warrant, like I said in the email, it's more costly, than 1 month of having the service for him to do it. So even if I'm on vacation, if I have the capability to do the search warrants, I'll do them, but if I don't, then it has to be assigned to the court commissioner or, another judge.
So, yeah, we did discuss the Wi-Fi and obviously the email, which show that, the hotspot potentially could pull in more Wi-Fi, but, we talked to the sheriff and he said that it wasn't that big of a deal for them to drive out and get the warrant, so to them it
Okay.
didn't really make a difference having that the e-signing available.
Okay.
So, based on that, I would say we don't need the MiFi. If they needed, the e-sign, I would agree that it definitely seems like, there's something different, according to the Verizon, it is getting better reception. Device, but it sounds like it's not necessary for them to need the e-signing. is what they
Okay,
said.
yeah, it's just that they have to utilize more, because they can't bring somebody out to my house for me to sign the warrant. So they have to either move them into jail and, or have another deputy stay with them and come out to my house, but, and that's fine, if
They sounded like it wasn't a big deal.
okay, if they
on
want
that
to
end.
drive out to my house, that's fine with me. I'll see how it goes, it is,
Yeah, well, in
an
a couple months,
interruption.
they might come back and say, yeah, this is not working for us either, too.
Yeah. The only thing is then, I just wanna warn you that it'll affect the court budget, because again, then if I'm gone or on the weekends, and the court commissioner comes in, every time he drives in, or they go up to his house, he charges the time for that. And, So that's anywhere from $60 to $75 every time, unless that rate is going up for him. So, so again, if I have the capability, I'll do it, whether I'm in or not. But if I don't, then the court commissioner will have to get utilized to do it, and then that is not an expense that we've ever had before. And so then if I don't have the MiFi, then I don't need the cell phone. If I'm not gonna do e-warrants, I won't need the cell phone either. Cause that's the only reason why I have that is to sign the e-warrants.
I guess I'm confused, so like,
Yeah, they voted to have one or the other, so now if you're saying,
Because they didn't understand. One or the other, hotspot or MiFi.
yeah,
But if the sheriff's gonna have deputies drive out to my house when I'm home, then they bring the paper search. So what I have the phone for
well,
is to be able to get the search warrant, and then I have the
You're
ability on there to sign.
hotspotting, so you're hotspotting from the hotspot device to your phone, is what you're doing then. The MiFi, you're using the MiFi to get to your phone?
What I'm using it for, so when there's a search warrant, they email it to my court email address. So I access the email on my computer at home, I read the search warrant, and then, I sign it on my phone, but I can't send it back unless I drive down the road. So that's what I need the phone and the MiFi for the capabilities to be able to sign it on the phone, send it back. So if I'm not going to be doing e-warrants at all, then I don't need the cell phone either,
well, the cell phone would still allow you to sign the warrants when you're out of town, right?
if I have service, yeah.
And do you need the phone for, like, taking a phone call, cause I'm guessing they give you a call, and give you a heads up that they're coming with that
They'll
warrant.
text me or,
Yeah,
or
cause
call,
if
and then that's.
you don't wanna
where-
call on your personal phone for that.
Well, I have to when I'm home because I don't have cell phone service, so it's,
Oh, okay.
they call my cell phone, but it's forwarded to a landline, so that I make sure that I have the reception, cause my internet's not good out there at all.
I don't think it's on the agenda to take out the phone. We could visit that next month.
Yeah, we already,
I don't think it's written on the agenda, we could take the phone today.
we already
Put it on for, we can put it on for next month,
What's that?
to get rid of the phone.
Oh, you need approval for me to turn it back in?
I don't think a motion is needed on that, I just,
And then I would just need to let the two court commissioners know, because then that changes everything. If I'm, because it's a one judge county, if I'm not available to sign the search warrants, then, and then if Terry can't do it, then the next court commissioner is in Claire, so that could get more costly too. So just so you know, that's going to affect the budget a little bit, because that's not something that we ever utilized before.
I guess I don't understand why the cell phone can't still be used to sign warrants when you're out of town.
Well, I don't typically, it's not an issue when I'm out of town, it's not an issue during work hours. It's the McNeely warrants, the OWIs that I get at 3 o'clock in the morning, those are the ones. So typically, if there's a search warrant for a home or something, they're doing that during business time. So, if I'm traveling, then as soon as I get to another county, I can fire up my laptop and I can sign it that way. So, the reason for the cell phone is the mobility and to be able to access me all of the time, so I don't need it. I mean, because then it just will be, I will be signing them during business hours, and anything after hours will be done by the court commissioner at that expense.
Okay, I guess I just don't understand how how this is gonna change so much.
What do you mean?
I'm just confused, like, we were going from, they never said they wanted to get rid of the cell phone, they just said one or the other, and so.
Either a hotspot or a MiFi,
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, the hotspot doesn't mean no good at home, it doesn't work.
Right, but I'm saying that, what you're saying is that if you're out of town, but now we have to pay astronomical costs to have a court commissioner come in and sign it, and I guess I
Because
just
I don't have the capability to sign the warrants then, if I don't have an e-warrant capability.
Versus the $36 a month.
Every judge in the
Right, so I
district
mean, why
has
not
it.
keep the phone for that part of it?
For what part of it?
For
Because
it to be,
if I'm traveling and I don't have cell phone service, then I can't sign the warrants then either. It's only gonna be contingent on whether or not I have cell phone service. And the MiFi gives me that capability when I don't have the service. So, I just won't be signing them outside of hours, it will be the court commissioner who's doing it. The difference is Judge Anderson used to drive in to sign these, and the court system is saying it's a security issue for me to come in the middle of the night.
You said they can drive up to your house, so.
They can drive out to my house, yeah, and I'll try that, if it becomes disruptive, I mean, the reason Judge Anderson came in is because he didn't want his wife woke up in the middle of the night. And so, you know, if it becomes disruptive, I'll try it.
Try it, and, I mean, in another month, the sheriff might come in here and say, get her signing these warrants, it's too much. It costs us whatever, you know. Become an issue, I don't know, it didn't sound like it was gonna be, but, that's without not having that, that could change depending on, you know,
Once they have to start
how it
doing it.
functionally happens, it might seem easier, and it might get harder than they think it is, so, I guess I would.
Okay, so then I'll get the phone and the MiFi back to Brock, I'll bring that on Monday and we'll just see how it goes.
I'm interested if you can track the number of times we have to hire a court commissioner.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yep, that'll be
That's
built.
major thinking right now, I think.
Yeah.
That's what you were asking, right?
yeah, I guess, that's what I'm not understanding.
Yeah, Terry or the other court commissioner would be sending in a bill every time that would get paid out of the budget, so it'll all be tracked. It's all contingent on how many OWI cases that they have, so, okay, we'll see how it goes. Thanks.
Alright, thank you.
All right, moving along here. Insurance contracts.
So do you guys have questions on the reports that I sent? I did highlight a couple on there for those, agenda items later on. I did, in the insurance report that's attached here is different than the one I emailed out, because I had to contact the insurance company to send me the updated workers' comp report for December. There was some glitch in their system where it didn't get sent with the other report, so the updated workers' comp is the only thing that's different on that insurance report from what I emailed to you. There are a couple of pickup trucks coming out of the sheriff's fleet. One will be available in February and the other one probably in April or May. And so I spoke with Jared and Gary about it, and Gary, just doesn't really have a use for that size of pickup truck, but Jared could use both of them and, to upgrade, and replace some vehicles that, really should be, taken out of the sheriff's fleet and either sold or scrapped or, which is another thing that we're kind of want your direction on what you want us to do with the vehicles, that would be replaced if you do make the motion to transfer those two trucks out of, you know, to be used in the forestry department rather than the sheriff's.
We can't transfer from the cars.
One of them is actually already here and they are in the process of switching it over, but I just wanted to get your guys' approval so that, we know what the plan is.
We normally put it,
We typically do, yes,
so
yep.
now we're just saying, put it in, forestry.
Well, it would still be in the fleet,
In the
it would
fleet,
still
but
be,
it's
yeah, it's just a
under
departmental transfer,
forestry.
so forestry would be utilizing those vehicles instead of the sheriff's department. And then,
Well, no, but we know one's coming, what did you say, this date was for the second one?
so that one's supposed to be here, I think it might come in February, so then it would be available in April or May, because it takes a couple months to do the
That sort of
changeovers.
reflects on, if something happens to the truck, what we're gonna do with it too. If we know that's what's going.
Right,
Do we need a motion on that?
yes, I would appreciate your you guys just make a motion to transfer those two vehicles out of the fleet, and then I also would like, do you want us to try to sell those other two at auction, or,
The two forestry trucks are replaced.
yes, sorry.
So let's finish
Yeah.
this one up, so I keep the second one in.
Well, I mean, that could be included in the motion. Yeah.
It's two different.
And that, I'll have to ask Jared, which,
If you two Ford trucks,
Got that.
both are Ford.
So you have motion by Jerry, second by Becky.
Yes.
And only the 11 into the forestry department, yes.
And do we wanna put something in that motion, what we do with the old one?
Then we'll do a different one. Cause it's listed separate there. Is that okay?
and Jared says that the one, you might be better off just scrapping it,
I don't know, anything's worth trying to sell
okay.
on that auction side, it seems.
And I think like the last time, Gary, we just got a motion to dispose of them in the most economical way, so it made sense to sell them on auction, we did that, or if it wasn't worth it, scrap it, so I think if you guys don't mind, leave that up to Gary and Jared's discretion, is that,
The last ones we took were up like $500 for it. So I don't know if you scrap it, you're probably gonna get what, $200, $300?
That's all we have to vote on.
Thank you, I was just trying to get that.
We have a motion and seconded to
The card is here.
take these two vehicles out of the sheriff's fund, right?
Yes.
Any other discussion on that? Alright, motion made and seconded, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we're looking at the forestry truck. What do you get done?
Which ones are they?
Yeah.
so it's the two Fords.
Huh?
The two Fords, there's a 2008 and a 2011 forestry Ford, right here.
That one?
Yep, they're right after, one right after another. Next one. Yep,
Alright, those two.
What was it, the 11 and the what?
in the 08.
36, 42.
Yeah, they're one right after the other.
So the 250s?
Yes.
Yeah, they're both 3/4 tons, and then one place is 1/2 ton would be half tons, and I still do have a 3/4 ton in our fleet. We could buy with one. And we, eventually we're gonna get more 3/4 tons. Yeah.
Some sheriff department's trying,
Yeah, because they know that eventually they get from the fleet, so. Cause the main thing for you guys is probably hauling a trailer every once in a while. Yeah, it's
Yes, it depends on which one we use, I think it's a
As long as you still got one.
commission.
As long as you still have one that you can get the job done. Yep, that's fairly good. I'll make more money.
I have a motion made to put my Wisconsin surplus.
Can
second
we
by-
put for Wisconsin auto auction, cause I think that's the one the sheriff's department uses
For the most economical way, that's what we do.
put them up for auction.
Yeah.
And the
to auction
sauce.
them off, yeah,
What's the other one, Wisconsin, how long?
I think that's the one, yeah.
I think it was Wisconsin surplus.
Alright.
All the counties and.
Yeah, but the auto auction one is strictly vehicles.
Go there, go there, second.
They can pick up everything.
Yep.
That might be,
You just have to disclose everything about it.
Sure. Alright, motion,
Repairs.
motion's been made, second, to put the extra vehicles up for auction. Any more discussion? Not, all those in favor, signify by aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Now we have item D, which is.
okay, so last month, Phil brought those squad car bids to you guys, and, then when it came time to actually pay for them, he realized that is a newer salesperson, I think they don't have a lot of experience with like governmental contracts. They did not include the the fees, the document fee, registration fee in their quotes, so what I'm looking for is for you guys to approve an additional $588 per vehicle for those fees. It's still the lowest bid over all of them. Tony did verbally approve it, but we just wanted to get it in the minutes that you guys are approving the additional $588 per vehicle.
I hate to say yes on it, but we have no choice.
Motion made, second, to approve that additional expense on, is it 3 to 4,000?
The one's from Don Johnson, so I think it was,
Time for a walk.
I have two of them here, but I can't remember, yeah, it was just two of the vehicles, the Ford Super Duty and the 2023 Ram.
Okay, motion made, second, any other discussion on it?
No, Terry did.
No more discussion, all those in favor signify by aye. Anybody opposed? Carried. Alright, moving on to IT director report.
Bob, do you wanna take after it, okay?
Sure. Alright, it's kind of, update on some of the projects. So as far as the internal fiber goes, we've got cable pulled and it's been certified, by CCI, Eau Claire. We're just waiting on Heartland, get some of their time to finish that off as the switches need to be replaced yet, or upgrade, I should say, to the fiber ones. As far as the server project goes, the servers, the SAN unit, and the core switches have been completed. That changeover went well. We still do need to install the new firewalls, and that again, we're working with HBS on. The server room, UPSs, and the replacement batteries have arrived, and so those are getting replaced. We still do need to get an electrician into the server room itself, so they can go ahead and put in the 208 volt outlets for the UPSs that Gary was able to recover from RCMH or Marshfield. As well as the 4-post rack system, which is another project we're working on. I'll need to work with Gary to get a time frame, and just to get those bolted down into the actual ground, or, concrete floor itself. As far as our internship goes, our CEP internship, RJ will be here with us until the 28th. They've got about 2 weeks left. Trouble tickets, we're just trying to clean those up, even more. And then, I'm sure Connie can agree to this too, but, it seems like there's a strong uptick in, open records requests as well. Very strong. So those are kind of taking, some time. Some of them are a little more urgent than others. But yeah, as far as IT goes, that's where we're at, that's the, report. I guess as a question, is there anything you guys want me to let you guys know about every month, or anything like that? Like, I know the sheriff's department goes through, like, all their calls and all this kind of stuff. I mean, is there, you guys wanna know about certain buildings or certain projects, or just keep it fluid?
I would say anything that pops out of the ordinary, so you wanna hear about that for sure.
Okay.
So it's like,
How much money you're able to save for your
but
yeah, I guess we really wanted to, I mean, we do maintain also a list. I was gonna have it for you guys this month, but I'll do it next month. You guys have to approve anything that we take and recycle. So we keep that list for finance, all throughout the year, and how much each thing's worth and everything like that. So I'll bring it up.
Okay, do. Determine invoice to be responsible for the IT department. Or the IT might will bring up the question.
I guess I'll start, so I believe, since I've been here anyways, that, somebody's always entered them into, the system, and I approve them. And that there's always been somebody that did that. I know, I think I'm told that the IT department is gonna have to probably do it now. I believe we probably could do it, I would just wanna know what you guys' thoughts, Bugs' thoughts, actually, I haven't had a chance to talk to him really about it too much.
So having like, even though it falls kind of under the umbrella of facilities, having the IT department talk to somebody in there, and the invoices, and you just do a bird's eye view, and make sure that it's approved for you, rather than you doing it all or something.
Well, I approve them all the time, all of them, but it's just, do you want, I guess I'm asking you this, do you want somebody that's getting a pay scale of myself or Bugs to enter in receipts? You know what I mean?
How many are there? There are not that many, is there?
There's a fair amount of IT.
And most of it's, most of it's, small petty stuff. And we got some big items too. Those are the ones that, seem to be dragging out or whatever. I mean, Charmaine was the one that's,
She got really bogged down.
I know, she
And
was.
so we at the clerk's office said that we would try to help out for a little while, but with elections and stuff, and I have somebody going on, Manali, I don't have.
Well, I know we got a lot of issues in the year because of full elections, and also, just, a month or two ago, we were going into printing our own ballots and so forth, which is a new learning curve. But, the clerk's office, whoever, on top of it, so I mean, and I believe one of your, yeah, I don't know, Avery was coming
So I don't.
out of your office, so I mean,
So in like the other departments, is it usually the department head, or do they assign somebody under them to, assist the department head?
Either the department head or the staff, like in my office, it's kind of a combination of
So
all of
like we
us.
could say, Jim could be in charge of it, but he could have Neil or whoever do it as well, as long as he's in charge of making sure they get entered and then you approve them.
We could designate anybody, I guess, and just, like mine, Shard puts them in, and Shard is doing ITs, and Shard does a great job at it, but she's over,
Char does a lot.
Shard does 180% of other people do it.
And, I don't know if, that's some of the finance we're talking, that we need to track down on the timelines, stuff getting entered too. So, I guess whoever's gonna enter, might make sure that they understand that they gotta get in there pretty quick. So if you're doing it, or if you're having, somebody else do it, just make sure that they're getting entered in a timely manner.
So you two really haven't talked about it yet?
We
Really
Okay.
talked about it?
Yeah, we've kind of kicked around the idea. I mean, originally, when we started, or at least when I started this, we would kick everything over to finance would do it, and then, okay, we signed off on it, put down what line we wanted to come out of. They entered it, we never heard about it again. Then, I don't remember when.
And that was prior to my viewpoint.
Yeah, so I think everybody was doing that.
Yeah, I'm assuming everyone was.
Then it went to my viewpoint and completely switched. So now the department has to put in invoice in the budget, and then the department head approves it, and then they audit
all routed electronically. So like when I purchase something like on Amazon, as soon as I purchase it, you can download your order summary and take that and I put it in my viewpoint and enter it in, and then I don't have to think about it again. So I think it's maybe just changing the process, when you order a computer for somebody, hey, or changing the process going, okay, so-and-so needs a computer, instead of ordering it for them and charging it to your card, here's the link, you order it, enter it in, and then it's their responsibility to make sure it hits their statement. However that, it's just a matter of changing the process. And you guys do quite a bit of stuff from Amazon too. So just, grabbing that order summary and getting it entered in right away, or, if you are ordering it for another department, sending them the link to order that item.
And I think, that was one thing that Tracy wasn't sure of either, is like, okay, cause we do buy for a lot of other departments, is, okay, does this software, hardware, whatever it would be, do we enter it and then let them know, or do we give them just the receipt right away and say, hey, you guys enter this, and then if it doesn't get entered, it's still sitting on my credit card. Which I think is one of the oldest ones pending there, was one that was just a miscommunication between departments. But yeah, I mean, the other thing Gary and I really talked about is just the skill set, and the amount of pay that it would, take. Would it be better for somebody to do data entry, versus, taking somebody that's, has a different skill set for that,
But-
so we're looking at.
And the amount of time that it takes you to send it to somebody else, give them the account coding, you could have entered that in.
And, actually, I gotta work with Charmaine yet anyway, to teach me how to use it.
Yeah, and we're happy to come sit with you too. All of my viewpoint instructions are updated on the Z drive as well, so it's
I've got those.
step-by-step process. But yeah, if you want Brittany or me or Sky to come, we're happy to do that.
I think one big thing was, that I've probably seen is bugs probably would, purchase some stuff that were, for other departments, and IT would actually have to take the burden of the cost, kinda, where if we can send that right to them for them to purchase it, then that would alleviate some IT's stuff too, correct? That's
Possibility.
my opinion, I guess, just, I know a lot of times, somebody will call up, hey, we gotta get this or whatever for a department, and, yeah, you probably should approve it or whatever, but, if they wanna purchase it, let them purchase it, then they can take care of, receiving it, kinda like you said, right?
Especially like if it's like an ongoing software thing, because then it's like.
You're just looking for correction, right?
I guess we have to approve, Joe, make a motion to approve. Motion made, second. Discussion on any of them? Everybody seen them all? No questions? Alright, motion made and seconded. Go, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I guess we're down to the end. Work session scheduled here. Employee outcomes, Wisconsin statutes 1928-5-1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, and performance evaluation data. Any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction for exercise responsibility. Motion to go into closed session. Terry,
Yes.
Bill, Terry,
Yes.
Yes.
Bill, Terry, myself, yes. We are now in closed session.
Night.
Every night.
A week after Groundhog Day.
You said very good. Right of the month. Okay. Motion made, stand adjourned at 11:30. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Absolutely.
That's a little longer than forestry meeting.
Yeah. Jeremy set a record, I think, for human services yesterday.
How long was that?
11:30 quarter. I have a question, was the bills in our packet, did we email out?
No, Brittany emails them out separately.
I'm just trying to figure out where I can look at it,
Yeah,
so I know, start asking questions.
yeah, Brittany emails them out.
Yeah.
Okay,
To all the
Brittany makes
members.
okay.
Yep.
I get it in my email.
Did
Okay.
you not get it?
I don't know, I wasn't paying
Let me
attention.
make sure here.
So,
I know I caught her just as she was running it, and I was like, make sure you put Phil on that, so make sure your name was on all the signatures, you know? But she might have just kind of
or I
forgot.
might have just skipped that
You're
step too.
new, that's why.
I'm the baby.
You're
You
the
weren't,
baby.
you weren't looking.
You survived this chair, you
Yeah.
can, hey? You survived the chair. Yeah.
Yeah, she did send it to you.
Okay, that is my fault.
Probably a
She
email
sent it
you're
on
not
Tuesday
Not
morning.
used to looking for
getting, yeah, you're not used to getting it, Phil.
He's not used to looking for it.
No, you got it. All right, have a good
Well,
weekend.
you guys have a good weekend.
You too.
As long as I don't have to shovel snow, it'll be a good weekend.
I think it went the other way or something, didn't it?
I agree.
You don't make Mary do that for you?
Huh?
You don't make Mary do that for you?
Can I shut this off? Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Early work anyway.
She might get the deck for me.
Oh.
I even got a shovel path out for her chickens.